fighting Tommy?
That's a great question. Well, then again, people are getting frustrated with him because like he compares himself constantly to Jake Paul, and Jake Paul over the past like couple of years has worked his way up, fought MMA fighters, fought MMA champions, and knocked them out. So he's in a situation now where he tried to fight a pro boxer and he failed. So JJ being compared to Jake Paul all the time, he wants to have that one over on Jake. So is it a big risk at this stage? I'd say yes. I think it is a big risk. But it's obvious why he's doing it.
And the question I've always, when I've interviewed JJ, I've had the pleasure of speaking to the guy quite a few times, and I've always sort of mentioned to him about, he talks about legacy. I mean, we've all seen the tattoo.
He's got it tattooed on his back now.
Mad, by the way.
Yeah. I wouldn't have done
it. No, I've got no tattoos, but I definitely would have not have done that. But listen, man's got KSI written across his whole chest.
Exactly. It's
knowledge,
like
strength,
knowledge,
integrity.
KSI, and then he's got L on his back. I think he took the L with that, to be fair. Yeah.
Smooth. No, but it's true, right? Like, realistically, the legacy is something he talks about so much. I mean, Misfit's done a whole promo video about it as well. Legacy is something that JJ fully follows. He wants to be the best of the best, the cream of the crop, I think was one of his song lyrics at one point. But yeah, JJ wants to be the best, and to be the best, you have to beat the best. I'm not saying Tommy is the great, but at the moment, we were saying off camera as well, he's almost like the final boss at the moment in Misfits, isn't he?
He is, because Jake Paul, who everyone sees as the top of the top in the scene, who's the best influencer boxer, tried and failed. So it's kind of like, right, who else can do it? Now JJ's getting the opportunity. If he doesn't manage to get through, then maybe Logan or whoever it is next. But JJ wants that win over Tommy, because then if he does beat Tommy, he may not need to fight Jake. He may retire that night.
And speaking of Jake Paul, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think as well, let's just say if JJ loses in round 4, surely Jake Paul's the A side now, because he went the distance with Tommy. He might have lost, but he went the distance.
Potentially. But then again, how many fights has Jake Paul been the A side for as of recently? I don't know if he's been the A side for that many of them too. It depends where the fight is. Obviously, if they do it in the UK, I imagine that KSI will be the A side. But I think there's a lot of talk of who's the A side, but I don't know if it matters too much.
And but what I'm trying to say is it, I think the A side, again, I think that comes, the location I think is really important. I'm glad you mentioned that as well. Because I think there's been a lot of talk about Wembley Stadium, which, by the way, I think they absolutely can sell out. I mean, think about the sort of the pressure, the ticket pressure and stuff for this event in Manchester. I think it's about 22,000. That's sold out within like an hour or so, not even that. And the ticket prices are mental, by the way, now.
Of course.
But yeah, going back to what I was saying, in the sense of if JJ knocks him out, surely he doesn't even need to fight Jake, really, if he knocks him out. But I think it's the manner of what happens on the night.
No, I agree.
Considering where them two are going to fight.
I agree, because even if he goes in there and loses, I mean, then again, Jake only lost a split decision against Tommy. So I mean, like, it's hard to sort of like one up that unless you beat him. You can't lose and one up a split decision, really, unless he gets a draw or whatever, which obviously JJ did last time he fought at Manchester Arena. So it's completely not off the cards. But yeah, I think if they do it in the UK, 100% JJ will be the A side. But I don't know. Maybe if they do like a big event in the US, then maybe they'll have Jake as the A side. But I'm not too sure.
I'm going to put you on the spot, Gio. Are you ready?
Prediction.
Who wins?
It's a tricky one. I've been on the record of saying that I do think Tommy Fury is going to win, and I think, you know, the eye test shows the experience. We saw how it was against Jake. He's been consistent. He's obviously part of the Fury family. He has that technical ability. He showed that pressure doesn't get to him in the way that we thought it may have done against Jake. So when they fought, it was a boxing match, you know? When he fights JJ next week, it's not going to be a boxing match. It's going to be JJ's fight. I think JJ, I just mentioned before, he's put all of the things in his corner. Do you know what I mean? He knows. He's put himself in the best position to perform the best on the night. And JJ's going to turn it into a brawl. And he's going to have a lot of volume. He's going to come forward. He's going to be throwing big, unorthodox shots. He's not going to stand behind his jab like Jake did and make it into a boxing match. And there's going to be moments where, because Tommy, his defense is decent, but it's not good enough to like just evade shots all night. There's going to be moments where JJ is going to get rocked. And JJ throws everything into those shots. And as we were talking about before, his gas tank is being overlooked too. So those shots aren't just going to be coming for the first 2-3 rounds and then he's going to tire out. They're going to be coming all night. And there's going to be a moment where JJ lands a shot and we're going to see really how Tommy Fury deals with that power.
So Gio, from what I'm gathering from that, you actually don't think Tommy's going to win, because I don't know, you're sort of edging towards JJ by the sounds of that. You were saying that everything's sort of falling into his corner, but realistically, right?
I want JJ to win. I want to say that I want JJ to win. On the night, I'm clearly going to be supporting JJ, and I think anyone who supports influencer boxing or that wants to see it grow, we need a JJ win. You know, Tommy Fury's
get more work.
Exactly.
We get more work. JJ has to win.
Exactly. The star dimmed a little bit in February when Jake lost to Tommy. So now we need an influencer to beat Tommy Fury, because then it's all fair, you know? The only thing that we're not going to probably get if JJ beats Tommy is that KSI Jake Paul fight that we've all been waiting for, because why does he need to fight Jake at that point? He's beating the guy that beat the guy, you know?
No,
maybe there'll be a rematch or something else that happens, but I think if JJ lands that shot on October 14th and puts Tommy Fury on his arse, it could be insane. What I hope is this is nothing controversial, because JJ, because of the style and the way that he fights, and obviously like in the past he's had a few controversial decisions in 2007 with the elbow and things like that. I hope there's no controversy. I hope whatever happens, it's clean. I do want JJ to win, but if I was to put my house on it, Tommy.
House, you heard that? House.
Well,
house.
My flat. I live in London. I can't afford a house. You know what I mean?
No, but that's a fair point, because I feel like, well, before we move on to Logan, I just want to quickly say I feel Tommy should win, right? Tommy should win realistically, but we are in the crossover scene. Anything can happen. This is why this scene is, as much as people might dislike it, it is entertainment at the end of the day. It is so entertaining, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And this fight is the pinnacle of crossover boxing as it stands, because KSI has so much pressure on his shoulders, and which he always thrives off. Again, what I said, I've interviewed him a lot of times, and he always talks about how he loves pressure. He loves proving people wrong, and this is why I actually think KSI was actually going to win, because I feel like Tommy's fought on pressure, but this time he's already overcome the first lot of pressure.
The pressure next week is going to be nothing compared to the pressure when he fought Jake Paul.
Exactly.
And that was building up for years.
And you can only see him, the reaction after the fight as well.
Definitely. He was in tears. He was so happy, you know. And obviously, he just had a kid at that point.
100%.
Whenever I speak to Logan, he's not nervous, he's excited, because not many people have the opportunity, if say for instance like someone goes at the wife, to get in a ring with them and smash the head in. Now, I did say this to Logan, and he isn't going to do this, but I said I would take the disqualification loss just when he's on the ground, so just stamp on his head. Now Logan said, bro, I need a win. He's not going to do that, but I mean, that's what I would do.